Yeah, let's go. That's 2 points for Rushi. I'm proud of myself. I get to do the first one for that.
Okay, do it.
Spawning in the top right, Data C, our blue Terran player. This is Keen.
See, I just had you fooled because I wanted to do this one in the bottom left, and it was just a great bit of fakery to let you have to convince you to let me do it in the bottom left. A star. He is for Alpha X. It's Astrea.
Maximus himself.
But not Maximus Paximus.
Not Maximus Paximus. Much different person.
Although
Well, I guess we've never seen them both in the same room at the same time. So,
I mean, but we've never. By that logic, he could be anyone. We've never seen Max Pax in the same room with anyone at the same time.
who says that we haven't seen Max Pax? What if that's like the greatest play? What if we find out that Max Pax has been like a top icon in the StarCraft 2 community, and just it's like the perfect like long con, perfect hidden game.
It's just Rainer. It's just Rainer's alt Protoss account, and it's the reason that the game's a little bit wonky when they play each other is because Rainer's simultaneously playing with 2 keyboards.
I believe that. That's a conspiracy theory I'm willing to get behind.
Honestly, my favorite Max Pax conspiracy theory is that he's just the Prince of Denmark, and therefore cannot appear offline because of security concerns.
That had people convinced for like quite a long time, like longer than it should have been.
People actually bought that one?
I'm pretty confident because I've heard that in like non-ironic dialogue with people.
We love it.
Oh, well, Max Angel going for the ever-loving 5 gas. This man's insane. He's broken the game. He's learned something that we haven't. 5 on gas, it's amazing.
Oh, you said 5 gas, and I was kind of desperately looking at the natural. I'm like, is he mining gas from like the third base, long distance? Like, what is this? But no, you just had me. You just lied to your co-caster. How does that make you feel? Are you proud of yourself? Does that make you feel good, Rushi?
You can't just keep accusing me of lying. That is not fair. That is you lying.
I mean, you said 5 gas. In the standard StarCraft setup, that means that there are 5 gases taken on the map. Thank you very much.
Well, there's a reason why I'm not casting TSL or ESL A stream. So you can keep pointing that out.
Just home store cap.
I'll take wins when I get them.
I mean, hey, you got more lane experience than I do.
Well, in any case, not a measuring contest here. I believe I enjoy you as much as you enjoy me. So we've got a small gateway wall coming up here. It seems like things really aren't developing a whole lot. I do like that Keen is starting to bury Widow Mines around different places. He does have one in his main mineral line to catch what could be a Phoenix or an Oracle coming across. In this case, it is going to be a scouting Phoenix to get some information. And we are going to get Zealot legs. A little bit of charge action here for Astrea as he develops his game up.
And there are periods of time where this build is really popular and periods of time where maybe a little bit less so. And it does feel like we are starting to just enter the era of Phoenix charge lot or different charge lot openers anyways. I talked about this earlier where Ryung was talking about how, well, in general, Protoss like to dictate the pace of the game right now. They don't like to let it come to them. And that does mean that it's Oracle into Blink is the big one. Phoenix into Charge is the other kind of really big style that allows for that. And that just means that Astrea is going to have every bit of information about how this game is going to go. What is Keen doing? When is he moving out? How is he moving out? Where is he moving out? Why is he moving out? And perhaps whose apartment is he moving out from? We're going to find out all these questions, but most importantly, Astrea does know this.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. It's I would, if there's anybody in this current game that would know that, I think it would be Astrea. I agree. Solid analysis.
Everyone asks the Terran player when do they move out, but no one asks them how they move out, or something like that. I don't know. We're reaching. It's fine. It's like not even
that
all
one's
that
got
late.
potential. We're gonna workshop that one. I like that one. I think there's potential there. Astrea's actually gonna dive on top of the Raven here. He does manage to get it. That's a pretty good grab. Does force out the auto turret, but it doesn't matter anymore because the Raven's dead. That does take a little bit of punch out of this push here for Keen, though. It doesn't have access to the additional energy that the Raven can provide, but it is still very scary here. There is a decent amount of units. Cyclone back behind that's actually gonna get picked up, so that's all out of the equation now. So now the real uniting force of this push is that tank, and it looks like Keen's gonna have to babysit it just a little bit more. Mine really doesn't connect with as many of those zealots as humanly possible, so Astrea is just gonna be able to collapse on top of this push here and get a lot of nice damage done. Lifting the tank allows those zealots to get additional work done, and now finally the tank's gonna go down and Keen goes home empty-handed.
It looks like the Reaper got a couple kills, but that was just smashed. That was just absolutely smashed there by Astrea. And that is part of the reason that we are starting to see this build become even more and more and more popular. Terrans don't like to go late game in this style, unless maybe you're Beyond and you say you can do anything with ghosts. But in general, Terrans have not really enjoyed it. They really like their different tech pushes, 3-on-1s, whatever it is. So you get yourself up to 6-8 gateways. You skip on gas for a little bit, as we see here. You know, only +1's on the way, second factory now, but Astrea skipped a lot of time. When the Terran starts to get aggressive, and they siege up, you say, yeah, hi, I have about 20 charge slots and Phoenix to lift. Good luck. And now Keen, his third base is on the way. It's not anywhere near being done. He's just gonna kind of be turtled on his side of the map for a little bit. Meanwhile, Astrea can he can grow and grow and grow so quickly.
Yeah, at the point where the Protoss player has a fourth base before the Terran player even gets their third base situated, you know that's not a great position for the Terran player. That's going to put them so far on the back foot. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for the Terran player to capitalize on just like, maybe I'll just dump more into my army and push across the map, because Bile can be deceptively strong, especially against a Protoss player that might be cutting on some of his army units to get out more probes. But in this case, Astrea is a really strong zealot army. He's got a decent amount of units here, and these Phoenix are continuing to put down a lot of harassment that's going to limit the amount of damage that Keen can really do across the map, because he's always going to have to be worrying about these units back in his base.
No, they really don't. There's a Phoenix in the main base here. They're going to knock down a couple at the gas. I think actually there was 6 SCVs going down. Okay, it was 4. I do like the random Zealot, though, that the Keen did not quite target fire the Phoenix appropriately. So the Zealot runs in, keeps that Phoenix got very low alive. I also want to point out that Rushi, he did, in fact, he had an Oracle. He lost it. He used it in the defense, and he built another one. He says, yeah, you know what? I want this map control. I want this ability to make sure I know where the big bulk of your army is at all times. And Widow Mines are actually not. You know what? That could have been a lot worse. That could have been a dead Phoenix or a dead Oracle, but instead it will be a couple dead Phoenix, and let me change my mind. That's actually not all that great there for Astrea. But realistically, with 2-1 on the way, with Archons existing, the time of the Phoenix being the most important unit in this game, it's not really there anymore. This army that Astrea has that he looks to try to break Keen with, it's a beefy one. And it's not just about this Phoenix in the air.
Yeah, this is going to be good positioning here for Astrea. Nice little split on this army to try and bring things forward. Actually gets a good lift off on one of those mines, so doesn't even really connect, but Keen does back up far enough here, gets a good little choke point to box out Astrea and it deals some additional damage. And now the Archon doesn't really have the shield wall of these units to soak up extra DPS, so he's gonna have to back off, and Astrea did not get near as much out of that push as he was hoping to. A lot of damage done to Astrea's army.
Yeah, he really ate some massive Widowmine shots on the backside, so Keen did a great job of kiting backwards into that one. But Astrea, again, he's up 17 workers. He's got 2-2 on the way, so he was up an upgrade even with that fight. And most importantly, he's getting that second Robo. He's getting that Robo Bay. He is advancing to the next level of tech. So as a Terran, what do you want in this setup, right? You want 4M, or you want medevacs, you want mines, you want marauders, you want marines, and you want ghosts, right? You want to be able to knock down shields as quick as possible, and really you actually want a lot of marines to deal with the zealots as they run forward. What is the counter to that? What deals with that one? Couple Colossus do a pretty great job of that. So that's where Astrea is going to go, unless he goes into disruptors, which that also works, and it has the bonus of making Beo look like an idiot.
Is this the moment I get to accuse you of lying to me? I can't believe it.
I'm a terrible liar.
All right, I feel better. I feel better now. I got my one in. I can get over it. Oh, that was actually a really good EMP. Look at all of those zealots without any shields. Just a couple trailing in behind it, but what a great catch here. Keen has an opportunity here to eat a disruptor shot. Is just going to trade out one ghost for that, so that's not great, but could have been a lot worse, especially keeping all of those units alive. That's a good position for Keen to try to exploit. But now this kind of creates a little bit of a pressure point here for Astrea. Needs to be able to land a couple of these disruptor shots to clean things up. A couple of those mines do get picked off. It's a nice little start here for the Protoss player. And the shield battery is a little bit low. Do have shield battery overcharge in the tank if he needs to activate it to keep something alive in a big pinch here. But this is starting to look a little bit like a back to corner, but opposite side of the map here. Nice little warp prism harassment. Does it get into the base? It seems like it's relatively cleaned up, but it does force Keen to back off, and that's going to allow Astrea to really push back out in front of the space again.
That will, but Astrea does lose pretty much all of his Phoenix in the middle of the map. Again, the period of time where Phoenix are dominant, it's kind of gone. EMPs, they blanket it all, and then it's just a little bit of tickling anti-air damage, and that doesn't really do all that much. And you pointed this out, Rushi, the big deal with that warp-in, it forced Keen back, forced him to be distracted, really provided that egress point from where Astrea could, well, break himself out just a little bit as now. Keen thinks he got inside track to the 5th base of Astrea. The stack defense is only just now completing, but there's no shield battery. Not really to defend the pile or defend the cannon's disruptor shot on the north side, though, and this is Keen making a wee bit of a mistake here. Looks like this base will go down, but it is a 50 supply lead for Astrea right now. So many zealots on the north side. They're going to break this base of Keen open like a rotten egg. And yeah, sure, Astrea does lose that base. He's going to actually drop into the main base. I think Astrea's already rotating on over, so he should be able to react to this one rather effectively enough. And in the natural, these zealots, they're just getting so much done, forcing Keen really into what it feels like an all-in position. But this position that Keen has with these liberators here, it is not easy for Astrea to engage into.
No, especially the fact that there's not that much here else. I mean, not a lot shoots up. It's only 3 Stalkers and an Archon, and that's about it. But that army is going to try and collapse as quickly as it possibly can. But is Astrea getting enough damage on the opposite side of the map to counteract it? It seems like this could potentially be a good moment. I actually love that little cut in the line there to allow for the disruptor shots. Zealots getting on top of the planetary fortress. Is that going to be enough? I don't think there's quite enough DPS there. That's going to get cleaned up there in the very end. This army is going to mostly get out. One of those medevacs so low, it is going to get picked off by that Phoenix, that hero Phoenix. The planetary fortress stays alive, but this was a scrappy engagement by both sides. Both are going to have to lick their wounds pretty hard.
Oh man, Astrea lost all of his production in that fight. He had 8 gateways, I think maybe even more. He's now down to 5, and guess what? 3 of them are depowered. He's on 2 warp-in. He can warp in 2 units at a time right now. So that is, of course, the big thing, is as he sat there on like almost 1,800 minerals, just really not able to produce. Yes, you can build liberators as much as you want, but you do need things in front of them. So now we're in this game state. Keen, 50 workers. Astrea, 70. Astrea did lose that 5th base, but looks like he's going to posture to take another one soon enough. Losing the main base as well, but really not as impactful. It's only 4 mineral patches right here. But the question we ask ourselves is, can Astrea get active on the map? Can he force Keen back? Because as Astrea was really only on 2 bases or 2 gates he could warp in from, his army will be rapidly eclipsed by what Keen can actually produce.
Yeah, and I think Keen has been laying back just enough that Astrea might be able to get away with it, but he's invested a lot into probes. 3 Nexus going down right now? Oh, okay, he's replacing the main, and he's got 2. It actually does cancel preemptively as the army in the bottom right-hand corner does get spotted out by the Adept at the Zalmaga Tower. It's a very good response. Nice little wall here does keep Keen out from just diving into the mineral line, and a couple of units got recalled, and that really wasn't that big, but it does keep a bulk of the units on the top side of the map as well, where Astrea is really wanting to punish the Terran player. And yeah, I mean, this is being navigated well by the Protoss player, who is trying to defend on a couple of different fronts and is making the most of it, and has now evened up the army supply, has a little bit of a worker lead as well. One engagement could put Astrea right back at the top of this game.
One thing we got to point out, Keen is on 2-1. His extra researching eBay was killed, I believe, with all those zealots into his natural, and so he's only on 1 eBay. His +3 attack is on the way right now, but this is a 3 upgrade lead. Much has been made, Rushi, of how much better Bio is than gateway units, but when you got a 3 upgrade lead, that can really very much make the difference. Disruptor shots on the bottom side. Keen splits are not good enough here. He loses so much of his army, and now another shot going out. He gets the target fire there, but not on the other 2. And Astrea, it feels like he really can just take this fight, but he's worried that there's a second hammer, a second shoe that's gonna get dropped at some point. Astrea, there is no other shoe. Keen is absolutely barefoot.
There's a good one. That's a keeper. Write that one down. Put that one in the book. Yeah, I mean, the Liberator count's starting to get really, really high here. And he's actually cranking them out 3 at a time, which can be really good. But if all of a sudden all of your supply ends up in Liberators, that's going to catch Keen off guard when these Blink Stalkers are able to just start navigating their way through these different choke points. That's a lot of DPS, and that base is not going to be able to survive here. He does knock that down, and that's where some of that Liberator count is going to be a bit conflicting. He's not going to be able to protect all of these different nooks and crannies. Astrea throwing down a Dark Shrine as well, and I mean, there's just a lot of rotation here. This is a better use of these Liberators here being able to close up on this ramp, but Keen's at the point where he doesn't want to be closed up. He needs to get out, so this drop that's now passing into the main base is going to be very crucial to get a lot of damage done.
There's not really a lot there, though. He has a couple gateways. The Stalkers blink forward. They say, okay, you got to drop. Sure, that's fine. And let me go. You don't have anything to defend these Liberators anymore. And now Astrea's just knocking them all down. They had 11 to start. Now there are only 4. 3, make it 2, make it 1, make it really not a whole hell of a lot here. The Stalkers, they blink right side. Astrea maintaining his supply, and Keen just taps the hell on out. Astrea goes up 1.
That was the best way to take advantage of that high Liberator count there for Astrea. So very good decision making there on the backside of that game. But that was a nice little back and forth. Both players definitely had a good control at different points in the game, but Astrea able to get the final push at the end and knock Keen off and get him off-centered for a 1-0 lead. I get to do this one. Top left-hand corner of Moon Dance. It's the blue Alpha X player. This is Max Angel Astrea.
In the bottom right, in the red. He played a wonky game, found advantages at some points, but not others. He is, of course, Keen. Also, the Guangdong Freaks. Man. I keep going and trying to do press the delete button to zoom in and turn. And I do that before I have StarCraft selected. And then I almost delete my replays scene that, is currently being broadcast that has, our audio and the video and everything else.
And then, of course, OBS, like a true Chad, will be like, yeah, you want to do that, right? Yeah, I'm not using that or anything.
Well, it generally pops up and says, "Hey, you don't want? Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fair. Thank you for catching me. I don't want that."
Imagine a world where OBS could just realize, no, that's not what this guy wants, and just ignores the key command.
Yeah, that would be. I have. Luckily now, OBS added the ability to control Z.
Oh, fancy! Thank goodness we have the technology now.
Yeah, I mean, it still screws you. But, and the fun thing also is, if you have weighty scenes that have a lot of assets in them, deleting the scene without deleting the sources first crashes OBS.
What are we paying money for this for? What the heck?
I mean, maybe if we did pay money for it, we wouldn't have these problems.
Well, that was the joke, but
Recall?
I guess now we all know. Oh, he's going to get it? Whoa! Just barely. Photo finish.
One shot
Very
more.
Good. Okay, he's got 4 on gas. 4 on gas. There we go. I said it correctly this time. I'm still pogging out. 5 on gas. I get to pog out appropriately this time.
Don't worry, Rush. You'll always be my little pog champ.
I think I'm gonna go. Goodbye.
Does that make you feel as disgusting as it made me feel? Oh, there we go. Reaper will go down. But
Oh, I want to talk about the starport. Can we talk about the starport, please?
okay. Okay, my
No,
little poggy woggy.
No, I'm like, you're lingering. You're lingering. I can hear it in your voice. It's terrible. Roxy Starport. This is going to be kind of fun. It seems like it's going to be a medevac, so it can ferry in some super awesome Hellions that are going to be pumped out here. It should be about 4. I kind of like Astrea really already kind of playing into that a little bit. He does have a decent amount of SimCity on the right-hand side of his main, where that medevac would probably be most, apt to come from. So that can be helpful, especially since the shield battery is going to create a little bit of clog too. But look at this, Astrea actually already going into his 3rd base. He's going to take the pocket really early on. It's very greedy.
That's just an Astrea build. This is something that he does like to do on this map. He kind of realizes that there's only one real attack path for the majority of Terran builds. So might as well take that your build as greedy as you please. But this does slow down everything else that the Protoss player would like to do, such as build units and have anything to defend this one. And that SimCity you pointed out on the right side, you know what it also does not give the probes a direction to really flee. And actually Astraea's not even reacting to this whatsoever. 7 workers go down now. Probes are going to get pulled away, but it's 10 workers dead. This is just not yeah, maybe sure there's a 3rd base that's faster. That might allow Astrea to come back from some of this, but this is 15 workers. This is maybe even more. Call it 16. No, he's not quite target firing appropriately. Okay, it's gonna be 16 anyways. This is game-ending damage from Keen at this point. He finds himself up 2 workers on Astrea, and he scans the natural, says, okay, there was nothing there. What were you doing, bud? And all he's gonna see is a robo.
Yeah, that was a choice. I don't know if it's a choice I would have made, but it's a choice to just allow those workers to go down. He's trusting in the power of that back pocket base. He's just pumping out probes at this point. So he's not gonna let it phase him. And to be fair, I mean, he has reclaimed the worker lead here, and the army counts are rather close together. So if Astrea can just stabilize here, he will find himself in a decent enough position. Keen also going for the pocket base as well, but Keen also on the offensive here as a nice little drop into the main base. That Cyclone's going to start working away on these units right now, and it's a probe line that's like, not again, we just got done with this. Medevac is going to be able to pick up and get out and immediately start harassing this pocket base, and this could be something that can create a lot of problems for Astrea, but I have a feeling that these stalkers are going to start working against them.
I mean, you say this could be causing a problem for Astrea. I would posit that it has caused a problem for Astrea. Even as stalkers, though, they're going to be able to knock the medevac down. That's nice. The Cyclone pops out. He's going to say, yes, that is a low worker. Maybe I can kill it, and he will. So another worker will fall. Lock on is not going to get all that much, but 24 probes.
It's only 24.
It's only 24? Okay. Only 24 probes have died this game, and that means that Astrea is totally fine. You know, normally from builds like this, we would expect to see at least 32. Maybe even 69 workers go down.
You're busy writing a new formula here. It wasn't aliens, it's actually probes, and there's a Cyclone in the mix, so now we can actually get more. So I like this. You're doing math on the fly. Yeah.
Technically.
I have the glasses here. I'm the one that gets to push them up and go, actually,
I can't even do that. The Terran has lost less resources than the Protoss has. We can't even make that argument.
Well, Astrea's going to go make his own argument here. He's going to push across the map. He's got 3 sentries. He's got 5 stalkers. He's got a dream. And the tank is unsieging? Excuse me?
No, he does not break this. I'm sorry. There is not a world where he breaks this one. He denies the double eBay for like 10 seconds. And that's about it. He just doesn't have upgrade. Like, maybe if he had blink. I mean, I don't think so, but maybe if he had blink. Unfortunately, he does not have blink. Charge is on the way. He's actually skipping blink here. He says, no, I need stuff. I need the beef. And, well, you know, maybe then he can turn it into a proper Korean barbecue. But for right now, there is no beef. No buff. No Korean barbecue.
I was going to say, you were just in a French-speaking part of Canada. I was waiting for le boeuf.
Well, I mean, have you seen pictures of Astrea? He's pretty buff.
I casted a game with him. I sat with him. I actually gave him a hug at Home Story Cup.
Okay, that's a little bit too much PDA there, Rushi. I'm gonna have to calm down a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm capable of expressing feelings.
No, not
There's
possible.
a 4th base here. Look at this. Look at this fourth base. This is actually a really bold move here from Astrea. You said game-ending damage about 3-4 minutes ago, and Astrea is like thriving right now.
I mean, I wouldn't say thriving, but he's not in as bad a position as he once was because Keen really battened down the hatches. Now, if Astrea can hold this push coming out from Keen right now, maybe he's going to be okay. If that force field, so you can say, yep, nope, back away. Back the hell on up. I don't want this. I don't want any part of this one, but it's not a perfect seal. So much like water finding its way around some old flex tape. Keen is going to be able to run for it. The Raven looks for a little bit of harassment damage. It doesn't really get much done. And I feel like Keen would have preferred to have the Raven actually there to knock down this Colossus, because really, that Colossus is the only thing that is even the remotest bit, the smallest bit scary in this setup. Now, Extended Thermal Lance not yet done here. Colossus still, they're getting great damage. Zealot's trying to get on top of things. Tank though, they knock one down immediately. Second one volley. Are we gonna have two? The answer is no for the moment. And now Extended Thermal Lance is done, but there's really not much to buffer for this thing whatsoever. A second Colossus will fall. And you say Astrea is okay, and is okay only if we look at the worker count and we don't look at the army count or really the game state at all, because this push from Keen looks deadly.
Yeah, this is still a very scary position here for Keen. I will definitely agree with you. 3 tanks there on the backside, more additional units, but Disruptors gets a nice good shot there on the first one, but additional reinforcements will come and make this a pushing point.
Nope.
The Raven from the backside, well, that's just going to be gone, unfortunately, and this is going to be a forfeit nexus here. Keen scans to make sure that that's actually going to be the case, and he is going to push all the way in, but now this army is going to start moving in a different direction here. This is a decent amount of units, but that isn't quite enough to push across the map. Okay, yeah, there go the Zealots. That's going to cause as much chaos as humanly possible. But where does this army end up going? It looks like he's going to pick this up and try and move this in. Oh, Astrea so badly wanted to knock that out of the sky, or at least take 1 or 2 of them down before it got there. And once again, BeoMulf living in the dead space. Keen going to try and take advantage of it.
That he will. The Disruptor Shot goes off, knocks down a couple Widow Mines. You got to point out, of course, Keen was building his fourth base on the low ground, so the Zealots that you talked about causing fomenting chaos, at the very least, they do deny the fourth base just a little bit. Another Bio runs forward to beat Disruptor Shots. Keen! No, Keen! That's not what you want. Stars blink forward. They will not get a medevac, though, but all of a sudden, Astrea is on 4 bases. All of a sudden, Astrea is equal on worker count. He's only down 1 upgrade, but honestly, in this style that he's playing, that's okay. It's all about the Colossus. It's all about these Disruptors. Zealots from the backside, the Stalkers, they don't even care about killing the tanks. Those tanks are guaranteed dead. They say we're going to try to get as many medevacs as we can. As this drop here will force a recall, and that is going to force positions away from the fourth base that was looking so promising for Astrea. But Astrea, actually, his army splits are so good here. He's prepared for this one. Widowmine shots are nice. Disruptor shot going to go down here as well. Keen, he does knock it down. That was looking really scary. Stalkers, they will not get a medevac, and now, finally, maybe Keen has cracked this open just a little bit, found that salient point where Astrea is not ready, but that is not even true. That being said, you got to be careful. The Colossus here, Astrea, pull that one back, and it stays alive just barely. All of a sudden, Astrea's up 40 supply. Keen, he bonked himself on this one. This was not the way this game was supposed to go.
There were a bunch of engagements that just did not go his way, and I think we got to give Astrea a lot of credit. Very good army splits, decent positioning, willing to give up that fifth base location so that he could win elsewhere. Sometimes in a game of chess, you got to sacrifice an important piece to win the game, and it seems exactly like Astrea's approach here. And even this, he's starting to collapse in on the front side of Keen's bases here. He has a ton of Zealots on the left-hand side. It's like a Zerg player running Zerglings in here. It's going to swarm in on top of this planetary fortress. That's going to have to be forced to lift up here, and it will finally before it does get killed off. But Astrea now is starting to poise himself into a bit of a kill position. He has a decent amount of units. He's got a nice Colossus count. 3 is a great place to play from. He's got Disruptors. He's got Archons. He's got a little bit of everything. It's a potpourri army.
That it is. A 2-2 on the way, of course, from Keen. That's nice, but Astrea already has his +2. And the question, of course, can you fight through these Liberators? The answer is yes. Stalkers blink forward. Big set of army from the right side. Disruptors are going to try to do what they can. One Colossus, that low one from earlier, will go down, but the Archons and the Stalkers knocking all these Vikings down on the retreat as they blink out. Now, of course, the supplies are a lot more equal than they otherwise were. And for a moment there, it was like what, 180 versus 140. Like, oh my God, Astrea, are you doing it? Astrea's still in a great spot, right? He has that 5th base on the way now. He's on 72 workers. But Keen, at least he's on 4 bases. You know, he did not have that base. The planetary that was under threat was brought up, and Keen is on double starport as well, so he's going to be able to build double liberators eventually. For now, it's double Vikings to knock down these Colossus, but Astrea a little bit further. Once again, Liberator sieged up, but it's just going to go down. Disruptor shot on a couple ghosts, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing, but now it's going to force back, as again, the Vikings just a little bit too adventurous, Rushi. They heard about this idea of going on walkabout, and that's not quite what it's supposed to be.
No, you need to be able to continue walking about once you're done. So like that kind of walkabout, not gonna work in their favor, not this time around at least. We are getting additional upgrades out of the armory here for Keen. It does appear to be +2 for his ship weapons there, which will be beneficial, especially considering Vikings are going to be tagging down those Colossus, but also Liberators is doing a nice job of working away at the army as well. +3 just now getting started up for Keen on top of it. Oh, getting caught here on the left-hand side. A couple of those medevacs do get picked off. That is going to be forced out and away. Keen has just not been able to get to this side of the map for quite some time here. I mean, he was very consistently across the map, causing a lot of chaos. And now all of a sudden, Astrea has all the map control. Keen tries to get across to the map. Astrea swats him back and says, no, get to your side of the map. I'll meet you there by the time you get back.
So Rushi, you talked about this a little bit earlier, you know, talked about, you know, sacrificing chess pieces. If Astrea was a singular chess piece, what would he be?
Ooh, this is a good question. I think I have the answer. I think Astrea is a knight. He definitely likes to play very oblong styles of play. So it's never just like a move forward or a move to the side. He's always moving 2 forward, 1 off to the side, just to keep you guessing.
You know what? I'll buy that one. That was a well thought answer there. It's a big fight on the left side. Here comes the army though on the bottom side. Astrea's got to get the hell out of here. Disruptor shot though. Keen. It's not a great shot, but it's not a terrible shot either. Astrea is able to get out with most of his tech, and again, he's still got these 2 Colossus. Now Rushi, the period of time where disruptors are the most, or where Colossus are the most powerful, we're inching our way out of there. But even still, these 2 Colossus, they add a significant amount. They do force significant commitments. That being said, charge lots, DTs into the 3rd base scenarios. This Warp Prism, hey, it's got speed. It's going to be able to run away from the Vikings, except no, it takes a bad path, but that buys time. So Stark's blink forward. We're going to see 1 Liberator go down, actually make that even more. As we're going to see the Ghost fall as well. EMP is just not being used. Keen not paying attention here, but we got to see that last Liberator get knocked down. Now the Stalkers and the Archon as well sitting under these Vikings, forcing more problems. Of course, with +2 being done as well. 1 Colossus falls, 2nd one though, it's going to stay alive. Now, Rushi, 3 disruptors at a time, looking to make Keen's life really, really upset.
I actually thought Astrea was going to try and hold that position a little bit more. He had a great SimCity lock-in with the disruptors, but hold the phone here. Big shots on the disruptors on the right-hand side of the army. Those were huge connections with the Marauders, and that really softens up Keen's push here. There is a decent amount of Vikings here to push back the Colossus, so Astrea has to respect it, and there's enough reinforcements to keep this alive. But Keen can't afford to keep trading off this much army all at once, especially just to lone disruptor shots. He's not really taking anything off the head of the army as well. So this is the really good trades for Astrea, and it's slowly but surely the stones are slowly pushing into Astrea's camp as Astrea maxes himself out.
That he will big warp in there on the right side, and we got to point this out. Astrea has like every base on the map. He's sitting on 6 bases here. Technically, Keen has 5, kind of, but man, the main the main of the 3rd base have been pretty heavily muled. So Keen really, he's starting to become kind of broke just a little bit. The Stalkers, they're going to find the factory that has been lifted since the beginning of this game, and more importantly, he's going to find a rather different position to attack into, as the Vikings will knock this Colossus. No, they won't. Colossus does not go down. Disruptor shots on top of all these SCVs, and the army of Keen continues to fall, continues to get dropped down the economy as well. 7 workers have died because most of the army of Keen is on the other side of the map. Liberators, they've sieged up, and finally that damn Colossus falls. But Rushi, I'm not sure how much it matters anymore. 96 supply, all that the Guangdong Terran does have. And yes, he's forced a bit of a base trade, but in this game state, the base trade does not and will never favor the Terran.
No, and there's not nearly enough units here for Keen to really make this a point. Astrea is going to recall all of his units back, and that's a gift at this point. But Astrea gets his own gift, a free pass to the Code S Season 3 round of 24, 16,
20.
20. One of those numbers. I was like, no, I forgot. And then I can't back out. So I just had to guess wrong. But yeah, very well done.